Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be upgrading the Wooting 60HE keyboard. Now they did send me the money, but they didn't pay me to make this video, so it is not sponsored, so everything I'm going to be saying is my personal opinion. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it. So they did send me lube for the stabilizers and for switches, and they did send me tools as well, which are lube brushes, switch openers, and all that good stuff. All I needed to do was find a case that I really liked to put this keyboard in, because the Wooting 60HE keyboard does use a DZ60 PCB, so any keyboard case that fits a DZ60 PCB will fit in this keyboard. And that is where I found a really nice silver version of the Clippy T keyboard on Mech Market. So I picked it up, and that is what we're going to be using today. So we're going to have the silver keyboard with the white cat PBT keycaps on top. I think it's going to look great, it's going to feel great, and it should possibly sound good too. It did come with some foam as well, which is very nice, so I didn't have to do that myself. It has a little mountain top on the back of it. I was going to go for the Blade 60, but I didn't really like the edges on it. But the Blade 60 works for this keyboard, and the Tofu 60 does as well. Now that I had my keyboard and I had all the lube, I decided to go about lubing these switches. Now, fortunately for us, if you did want to lube these switches, it is actually a lot simpler than I thought it would be. Since these are basically Cherry MX switches, you actually just lube them like you would any other switch. As long as you don't get lube on the bottom of the stem, which has the magnet, I think you're perfectly fine. That is exactly what I did. I used the G205 grade 0 for the switch stem, and I used super lube for the springs. And then I just put all the switches back together. The next thing I did was make sure all the stabilizers were tuned correctly, and fortunately enough, they did do a pretty good job with the stabilizer stock. Once every switch was lubed, I put them back into the keyboard, and if you notice, I'm putting them in south facing. So if I ever wanted to use a GMK keycap set in the future, I could do so without having to worry about Cherry interference. Now overall, I really like how this keyboard looks, but how does it sound? Here is a quick sound test of it finished. I think it sounds better. I don't think it sounds amazing, but it does feel good enough towards where I don't only use this keyboard for gaming. I can use this keyboard for anything else in my opinion. That is mainly because of the lube switches. It's not more so of the case, just the lube switches. The case was just to look better because I wasn't a big fan of the black plastic case that it came with. You don't have to mod the case, you don't have to go buy new case, but I do recommend lubing the switches because stock these switches had a weird twang to them, and I noticed that they have some tick to them also. When I was modding this keyboard and modding the stabilizers, I was so under the impression that the stabilizers were causing the ticking. Even though I lubed them and tuned them and wire balanced, the ticking would not go away. But I found out that it was actually the switches that produced most of the ticking. So once I lubed them, most of the ticking went away. Overall, I had a really fun time doing this. Now I know like not everyone's gonna have the budget to do this because it is very expensive considering the keyboard itself is already pricey. And then you go out and buy a new case, and then you have to go buy lube and tools to lube the switches. So if you did want to do this, all I would recommend doing is lubing your switches. Let me know what you guys think about this keyboard in the comments down below. And if you did want to pick up a Wooting 60HE for yourself, I'll be leaving it in the description below as well. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.